this is Hope at Crafty Hope, and welcome to my channel. Today I'm working in a junk journal, but as a mixed media artist, I work in a lot of mediums. So not only do I do junk journaling like this, I've been doing assemblage art for my 100-day project, and I'll probably be doing that for a lot longer. I've really been enjoying that. And my main thing I do is jewelry making. So you'll find all of that on my channel along with haul videos and that kind of thing. I thought I'd introduce myself real quick. I've got some new subscribers, so welcome. And let's talk about what I'm doing here. Art journaling and junk journaling for me is it's kind of a release. It's a way for me to get out my creative energy, to play around with different techniques and experiment. And what am I wasting but a little bit of time and a few materials? So this page in general, I knew I wanted to do an image transfer. I know I just did one part of Mixed Media Menagerie, but I saw Jane Weston's image transfer with a magazine page, and I was in love with it. Now mine is not going to turn out near as good. In fact, I'm just going to cover it all up, but that's what had me going into this page today. You'll see the first thing I've started here with is some neurographic journaling or neurographic doodling. And that y'all saw I drew a couple of circle-ish shapes and some lines around on here. And where the lines intersect, I'm kind of curving those angles so it kind of looks like neurons. And that's kind of why it's called, kind of looks like where the synapses in neurons, if you see drawings of neurons, you'll get it. But it's kind of a meditative art, and it's a lot of fun, and I enjoy doing it, and I haven't really done it lately. And something today told me, grab my white Sharpie paint pen and let's put this in the background. Now the paper I'm working on there was some kind of cardstock that had been covered with sewing pattern paper and then some inks. And it was a beautiful page to begin with, so I didn't want to cover all of that up. So I went with that neurographic doodling, and now I have got my matte gel medium and a magazine image of a globe, and that's what I'm going to try to transfer. Like I said, this does not work out well. Jane's was beautiful. I'm going to put a link here or below or both to Jane's transfer because I'd love for you to go get inspired by that. So I covered that image with my matte gel, and I'm sticking it down in the journal. And y'all, I walked away for like 3 or 4 hours. I went and did grocery shopping and had my physical therapy. And now I'm coming back and I'm going to wet it. I've got my spray bottle and a bowl of some warm water, and I'm going to rub it off. And it just doesn't work. I can't get all the paper off. I think it's probably the magazine I used was not the best quality for this. I'm sure some magazines work better than other magazines for getting a good image transfer. But I wanted to show you just a little bit of what I did. I got it wet. I'm peeling off that paper, trying to get the ink to stay. And there is an image under there. You just can't quite make it out as that globe. Now, my neurographic doodles do kind of show through a little bit in this. Not as much as I had hoped they would, really, but they're there. And I do go past this because I really didn't want y'all to have to watch all of this of something that I'm going to end up just covering up. So you see, you can kind of make out the globe there. It's not super awesome, and it could be because I used that brown background and didn't really have a good base for it. I'm trying to remember, I think Jane may have actually put down a white base on hers, and maybe that's the step I missed right there. That just hit me. Okay, but I sealed all that with my matte gel medium just so that that image is still there. It's going to get covered up. So I like to add collage in with my stuff. It gives a lot of texture, and so I'm, especially on those edges of the image transfer, that they're kind of such a harsh transition from the transfer to the rest of the page. So I'm kind of covering up some of that with different papers. There's some more pattern paper since I knew that was already kind of in the background. I'm going to stick a little bit of that down to kind of carry that theme through this page. It's not a big deal. Like I said, the collage in this is really just to add some texture and some different elements to this. So, and I've got, that's a piece of rust dyed fabric. I did that ages ago and somehow it got shoved in my little scrap box. So I've pulled it out thinking, oh, I might bring that into it later. And I do. It's totally gonna help with my final product here. But I'm just looking for some kind of kept with a very neutral color palette this time around. That's not always my jam. I do love color, but I do find sometimes I have trouble getting it to work all the time. I know some of y'all that watch me all the time might disagree, but I really, today I was just feeling kind of neutral. So once I got some of that collage down, I brought in it's a Neo Color 2 crayon, which is a water soluble crayon. So I'm going to wet it. I think the color is yellow ochre is my guess. I'll have what it is below with a link to where you can get it, hopefully, if I can find it on Amazon. So I've got that, added that little bit in there because I could see yellow kind of peeking through, I think, from the image itself. So I brought that yellow ochre in and then looked at my page and decided you can't see that globe at all. So I'm just going to put another piece of collage down, more of that Neo color. There's where I was trying to look for the color, but I was like, I just want to make art. I'll look at the color later, and I never did. But looking at it here, I'm pretty sure that's what it is. I could have probably just kept playing with that, but made myself stop, and then I'm going to dry it real quick. And I'm going to go ahead and start working on making a focal. This page itself didn't take me real long. Like I said, art journaling and playing in a junk journal for me is just a way, it's like a no stress version of creating. And that's why I like to bring it here for y'all to show you that it doesn't have to be stressful. Just grab some scraps and some crayons and whatever you've got and start making marks. So I grabbed it's from an old yearbook. I love old yearbooks. I was on the yearbook staff in high school and college. And so I'm always kind of drawn to yearbooks. And this lady that was smiling looked like she was honestly laughing at something, grabbed my attention. And I went and dipped into a thing of a bunch of different papers and stuff I have. And that first thing was a piece of a Tim Holtz. I think it's from the Field Notes ephemera. And then that is from one of the artist almanacs. I think it's from February or something. And I've kept all of those to kind of add into my art journaling as I needed. And then with that little stack there, I decided I needed something darker on the page. So I'm going to add some black dots with this. So I already used the white Sharpie. Here's the black Sharpie paint pen. And I learned, I can't remember who it was from, but those, if you'll pump it just a little bit, you can end up splashing some of whatever color you're using onto your surface. So I splashed that black Sharpie paint pen down there and then decided I needed some marks on here. So I'm going to go with Distress Oxide in Rusty Hinge and one of my hand carved stamps. And I'm just going to add a couple of marks and a couple spots. Well, it's 3 spots on the page. I like to work in odd numbers. And so I've got those marks. That one in the upper right, y'all, that was my favorite. The other two, didn't turn out quite as well, but it's fine. I just wanted to bring in that rusty color that's like the rust dyed fabric there, and I did that. So I'm going to futz with this just a little bit, trying to decide where my stack's going to go, and go ahead and I'm not even bother with the matte gel. I will just use my Uhu glue stick and stuck my fabric down, and then I'm sticking my little stack of papers together, and I'll stick all that just straight down. I'm trying to remember what I add next. I think I go and I grab some stickers that were already sitting on my page and found the words, be brave and do it. And that's kind of what I was feeling about this, about some of the things I've done lately is, just grab your materials and do it and go for it and try something different, because I, especially with my assemblage for my 100-day project, am learning that just going for it and being brave, you can always fix those mistakes. Come back and do something better later. All right, I added a few marks with a pencil, using my Stabilo to give a little shadow to both my picture and then my sentiment. And that's going to be it for this. Oh, I think I do add a couple more marks with my pencil. But that's it, y'all. This was a quick little page in my junk journal. Oh, and the junk journal I was made as part of the Robin Marie Smith Transitions Journal Workshop. I'll link to that below as well. All right, guys, if you like this, make sure to give me a thumbs up and subscribe. And thanks so much for coming by. I really appreciate it. Bye.